Alright, you see that vile looking stuff right there? That's coming out of a dragon's mouth. And the dragon's mouth is right here. You see this? This is his dragon's head right here. And that's his mouth right there. And that's where the head scoops back. And this is his throat that runs all the way down to his stomach. And it is lined with dragon scales, because it is a dragon's throat. And as you go down through this dragon scaled throat, you will see it continues to be dragon scaled continuously all the way down, dragon scaled through his throat, extremely dragon scaled, all the way down into his stomach and the source of this vile stuff that's spewed out all over. Now, it's 900 miles, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But this is the fluty little things that run down the side of dragons. This is the flares of his back and so forth, the things that come out. And all this stuff up here is the little flashes. Now, remember we talked about effluent? Look at this. This is the effluent that's running from his decaying body. And the red blood, which is red-blooded creatures do this. Here's his neck, remember, his little throat running all the way down in the dragon scales. They never change because it is a dragon. And as it goes down into his stomach, here is the source of this nastiness, I believe, is where it gets mixed. And I think that's what he spits out to set people on fire. Now, as you come down here, I mean, it's crazy. This is insane, but it is what it is. That's his neck, and it comes down into his stomach. Here's his legs that come down. They're draining off the blood all around him. That is the effluent of death. That is effluent of death. And as it comes down, here's his tail, and it runs all the way to the end of Morocco. And it's still dragon scales at the end because it is a dragon. And somebody is going to have to deal with this. They talked about this in the ancient times. They weren't lying. They were telling the truth. We're the ones that are lying to ourselves. This comes out and look at this, it flashes all the way down. These are flashes from a dragon's tail. And they show them in every single, every bit of history shows this kind of stuff. And we just laughed and thought it was all silly. And it isn't. And by the way, Atlantis is right over here. This was Atlantis. It's the Eye of the Sahara in Mauritania. I've gone in and looked at this. The bridges are in here. There's stadia in here and all that stuff. And the Sahara Ocean drained, and it's quite obvious. You see it drained out of here. That stuff didn't just run here by itself. That is a draining effect from the Sahara, which was an ocean, when Atlantis collapsed, and this is many miles wide, much bigger than our Grand Canyon. And Plato said that never in history has so much mud ever flown and never flooded, and never again will so much be ever talked about. And it created the Cape Verde Islands out here by this mud flow. And this was Atlantis, and even Herodotus puts it here on the map. So there's so much wrong. It's insane that what we're being taught and not allowed to even discuss options. It's time to do something about this, and so let's do something about it. All right, I have no horse in your race, but you are not being taught the truth if you're going to school right now. Look at this right here. This is an Egyptian mummy. You see that? Inside that Egyptian mummy, no, not Egyptian mummy, this Egyptian statue. Inside an Egyptian statue is an actual mummy. You see that? Now, they're not going to teach you that at your school. All right, here we are coming down from this guy's foot. They're going to show from his foot coming down. Now, that melted. See that? They're saying it melted. That's blood coming out of his foot. Now they're going down through his head, which is a real head. And now look at this. This is a statue that was standing up. Now look at this. It's all embedded with all of that stuff and the shoulders and all that. You see it? There's his lungs. Those are the bones. You see that? There's his liver. And he is clothed, and he is encapsulated in stone, and I have done this process. I understand the process. So Don't think that you're just being told, see, this is what it looks like inside them. There's no question what it is. Anyway, so I want you to see this coming up video, and you need to send this to your professors and your administrators at your schools, because they're not doing the job they should for you. They should be looking into this stuff. I have DNA tests that are 100% conclusive, 3 separate tests on giant human beings up to 200 feet tall. Not on these guys here, but they're very simple to test, and the DNA is in there. It does not deteriorate. They were wrong about all of that stuff. They're finding it in mud now because I sent them the information that they were mud fossils. So instead of talking to me, they go and look in mud now. Oh yeah, look, there's mud. It has DNA. Well, they're eating up the guy's flesh. That's the mud. They have no clue about this. So they have to investigate this, and they are letting you people down terribly.